Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk. We got another big guest on the show tonight, and I'm going to bring on my co host, Mr. Roman Reigns Jr. himself, JJ. What's
I'm
up, my
repping the
man?
bulldog. I'm repping the bulldog tonight, but
Okay, all right. It's always another T-shirt with you for some reason.
yeah, I'm about to get kicked out of this house, quite frankly.
Yeah. Hey, so tonight we got Spencer Slade on the show, a big up and comer independent pro wrestler in Pennsylvania. And obviously, if you watched AEW this week, Beyond, he's making his way down through AEW in Tampa, Florida. Pretty cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, without any more introduction, let's bring Spencer on. Hey, Spencer, what's up?
What's going on, guys? I appreciate you inviting me on your show.
Absolutely. We've been trying to get you on. You've been pretty busy lately.
Yeah, I know it was the week that you wanted to originally do this was actually the week I got the big call to go down. So I'm glad that we can do it right afterwards so we can talk about it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So, real quick, so that anybody that doesn't know you, you want to let everybody know who you are, your name, age, hometown, height, weight, all that kind of stuff.
My name is Spencer Slade. I like to call myself the submission specialist. I am from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I stand at about 6'2", 6'3", and I currently weigh 227 pounds.
Yeah, man, you look in great shape. You know, I was looking at some of your matches, and I definitely think you can whoop our ass.
No,
Yeah,
I'd
that's
lay right down.
yeah.
Definitely, JJ.
Would you say that again?
I said
Definitely, Jay.
I would lay right down.
That's just I've always been, ever since I was 12 years old, I've always been a huge avid weightlifter. I mean, it was funny is because instead of lifting weights, obviously for football, I lifted weights because I wanted to look like the wrestlers on TV. So ever since I was 12 years old, I've always been fascinated with nutrition, dieting, weight training, because I've always wanted to look like the wrestlers on TV. And I'd like to think that I kind of look like one now, you know?
No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, you look in great shape.
Appreciate that. I'm always trying to get in better shape. People always tell me I don't know how much better shape you can get. Well, I just every single day, try to do something because everybody, there's no limit on how good you can look or how good that you can be at anything. You just have to, consistent hard work, just day in and day out.
What would you say
Absolutely.
what would you say your best attribute would be as far as training? Like, are you a cardio guy?
The
Obviously.
cardio, yeah, that's you see that I pride myself in having the best cardio. I mean, one thing about me, if you watch my matches, I never blow up because I always, that's the biggest thing when it comes down to professional wrestling is cardio. Yeah, you can look great physically, but just because you look great physically, that doesn't mean that your cardio is great. For example, I'll give you like a Kevin Owens. I mean, he doesn't look aesthetically pleasing at all, but man, does that guy have cardio because he can last long. So cardio is my attribute.
Awesome. So what inspired you to get into the business initially?
So I started watching wrestling when I was 9 years old, 8, 9 years old. And that would have been about like WrestleMania 2003. It was Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship when Lesnar did the shooting star and almost hurt himself.
Almost killed
That was
himself.
the first wrestling match I've ever seen. My grandfather got me into it, and then since then I've been addicted to wrestling ever since. And the addiction and the obsession with wrestling is getting has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger every year.
Awesome. So who broke you in? Who trained you initially?
So I started training with a guy named Chris LaRusso at the IWC Wrestling Academy right here in South Hills, PA, the official training school for IWC. I trained there for a whole entire year. before I made my debut about a little over a year and a half ago. So that's where I trained at.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. LaRusso, I've seen Chris LaRusso wrestle a few times in Altoona years ago. He's
Larry,
a good wrestler also.
Larry, didn't we see him in Ring of Honor?
Yes, he was in that. I can't think of it was a tournament.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
it was the Ring of Honor Top Prospects tournament. That's what
it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. I mean, I understand people. I understand that people out there like to go to a wrestling school that has a name, like a Lance Storm Wrestling Academy or Seth Rollins' school or Booker T school. But just because you were trained by them, that doesn't mean that you yourself are a good wrestler. You still have to go out there and apply all your learning and training. And I always take pride in Chris's training because I was blessed. I was so lucky. Chris did such a great job in training me, and I think it shows. So I don't know if there's anybody watching this show that's thinking about getting into wrestling school. If you're in the Pittsburgh area close, I'd recommend you come to IWC. But then again, like I said, it's your wrestling career. You do whatever the heck you want with it.
Right. So next
I got to step away for 1 second. Hold on. Go ahead.
So next up, Spencer, what feds do you currently work for right now?
So currently at this very moment, I currently wrestle for IWC, which is my home promotion. I wrestle for Imagine Wrestling up in Altoona, Pennsylvania, which is ran by Ken Downs. That's another wrestling promotion you should keep your eye on. And then I wrestle for a company called Rocket City Championship Wrestling down in Hazel Green, Alabama, which is another promotion that's with the OVW. And then I just started doing some shots for AEW. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Awesome. So, yeah, going down to the big leagues for a week or however long you was down there. Tell us about your experience with that down at AEW.
Yeah. So how the AEW opportunity came about was at the last IWC show, the big 20th anniversary show that we had on March 20th at Elizabeth P. at the Courtown Sports Center. Wardlow and Britt Baker, who were from IWC and currently signed to AEW, they came to the show to scout to see to bring somebody down for Dark. And I think they were originally just going to bring one person down, but they both were so blown away by the match that Cole and I had, so they invited us both down there. So we were down at AEW last week from Tuesday to Friday. It was an awesome experience, man. I'd like to say that I was my body. I had a better body than like 99% of the guys down there. It was a cool experience. I got to talk to and be around Jericho, Matt Hardy, Christian Cage, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, all the guys. It was a cool experience, and that's kind of exactly where I want to be. I wasn't too much of a fan back there. I was like, this is where Spencer Slade needs to be. So to me, it was a business trip. Simple as that.
That's awesome, man. I know I watched a match and it was short and sweet, but you didn't come up. The outcome wasn't the way you expected it, I'm sure, but
yeah,
you got to get your feet.
That's the thing. It's what you saw there was Spencer Slade shackled, not Spencer Slade unleashed yet. But I think that time's going to come very soon. But I kind of have to. I'm a team player. I do what I'm told. So that's pretty much all I have about that match.
That's awesome, man. That's a big deal, though. I'm sure.
Yeah, it is absolutely, especially
bigger things to come for you. So, any plans on going back down?
Yes, actually. I don't want to. I'm a big believer in the element of surprise. So all I'm going to say is,
come on, Larry.
Keep your eyes open because you never know how soon Spencer Slade will appear back in AEW. So that's all I have to say.
That's awesome. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, who is the best worker that you worked with so far?
The best guy that I've wrestled so far is none other than big time Bill Collier. Um, you know, this is kind of where I'm going to get into my version of wrestling and what I think wrestling should be. The problem with independent wrestling, and which are unsigned guys that are not signed to a wrestling company. You have too many guys out there that think that they're good that they're really not, or don't look very good physically, or have crappy gear. We just have these guys that just think that they are everything. But there's one man, in my opinion, that's like the gold standard or the textbook definition of the best independent wrestler in the world. And that's big time Bill Collier. You talk about everything. And I know Big Bill probably doesn't like it all the time when people tell him, "Oh man, well you should have been signed." I'm sure he doesn't like that because he knows deep down inside he should be signed. But big time Bill Collier, he's the best opponent I've ever faced, and I think he's the best wrestler that's unsigned currently.
Well,
Yeah, Bill was just on a few weeks ago, and I don't know if you saw that interview with him or not, but yeah, we actually asked him the same question: why isn't he signed? And thank God he didn't take any heart to us asking that. So,
and that's the thing about about like AEW and NXT too. They don't know who they want until they see it firsthand for the first time. So it's wrestling's such a it's a weird thing to explain. It's pretty much it's all about who's willing to say they know you. Really, it's all about who you know.
Larry, I actually
absolutely.
think we should change our name to the Big Time Bill Collier podcast because everybody that we've had on just puts him over like gangbusters, man. Well deserved. I don't know if you know or not. Bill and I have been personal friends for a lot of years.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's. I was very fortunate. I got to wrestle Big Bill very, very early on in my career. And I'm a very confident person. I'm sure you could tell. I think I'm damn good too. But big time Bill Collier. I mean, he's. They call him big time for a reason because he's a big time player that makes big time plays and big time matches. That's how I like to say it.
Yeah, he mentioned your name also during his interview about I can't remember, Jay. If was it the what did we ask him? He mentioned Spencer's name.
I think the best worker currently.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I'm pretty sure that's what he said too.
Yeah, that's
one thing about me too is I'm not a big person for praise. I know there's a lot of people out there that love to have smoke blowing up their ass or all that. I'm not really that kind of guy because you know when you've done something good and you know when you've done something wrong. But for a guy like big time Bill Collier to say that, that's like a confirmation to me that I'm doing something right. If big time Bill Collier says that, then you're doing something right.
Yeah, you most certainly are. So on the flip side of that is I like to coin the phrase shithead. Who's the biggest shithead that you've ever worked with? In a locker room, in the ring, whoever.
Let me think here real quick. I wrestled I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I like to tell it like it is. I would have to say, let me think here real quick. There was a guy that I wrestled. There was a guy that I wrestled in TNA, or he's from TNA. His name was Stone Rockwell. He goes by the name Asylum. He wrestles in like the Canada area. He just him and I we just didn't click. He was kind of more he didn't really want to kind of do anything. That's probably the closest guy I can think of. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. Like I said, I'm a kind of person, I don't let that affect me. His wrestling career, it's his business. He does what he wants. But at the end of the day, I know where I want to go, and I know where I'm going to get to.
Right. Not everybody's styles gel either.
Exactly. It's just unfortunate that you meet people like that, because I'm all about having. I don't care if I'm wrestling a trainee who's only been training for 5 months, or if I'm wrestling big time Bill Collier, or if I'm going to wrestle a guy like, I don't know, Hangman Page in the main event of AEW. I'm trying to have the best match on the card. I'm trying to steal the show, and I want people to leave that wrestling show knowing, man, you know what? That's Spencer Slade and that other guy. They had the best wrestling match on the show. There was nothing goofy. There was nothing silly. There was nothing that made wrestling look like a joke. That was a wrestling match I came to see. That's what I'm about.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a great answer, man. Very good answer. So far in your career, what's your accomplishment so far?
Biggest personal accomplishment so far, I would have to say, probably, obviously, personal accomplishment would probably be getting into AEW, getting into their bubble, their environment, because outside of the independents, there's not really anywhere else besides WWE where you can go before you get signed and get like big exposure. You get more people to see you, and that's what I'm blessed I was on Dark, because they have a couple million subscribers on YouTube. They get about 500,000 people watch Dark every week. So I would say my personal accomplishment was being able to be seen by a lot more people. And also, too, another personal accomplishment, too. I know I got to knock Big Bill, but retaining my Imagine Heavyweight Championship against Big Time Bill Collier, that's another pretty good accomplishment as well.
That's a feather in your cap.
Oh.
So would you say that your trainer had the biggest impact on your career, or would it be somebody else?
I would have to say my trainer, Chris, just because he, like I said, he trained me the absolute best he could. He gave me such great advice, and I came from football. I came from the football side of things where it's every man for themselves. It's an ego environment. You don't really you can hurt people's feelings. Like, you don't care about hurting people's feelings. And now when I come into wrestling, you really can't be like that. You have to be a team player. You have to play by the rules. You have to encourage everybody. So he definitely gave me a lot of pointers on how to navigate the waters backstage, how to watch out for politicking, how to not get heat with anybody, stuff like that. That's where Chris really helped me a lot. Because then you don't know what you don't know, and then I didn't realize getting into wrestling how offended and how people's feelings get hurt like that. So I'm very grateful that Chris gave me that hard discussion and let me know, how to basically be friends with everybody backstage.
Cool. So where do you see yourself 2 years down the line?
2 years down the line, I like to say I either in 2 years from this exact point, I'd like to see myself as the NXT North American champion, or I would like to see myself as the AEW TNT champion from 2 years from now. That's really honestly where I think I could see myself.
And I could definitely see that also.
That's I have a like a goal board here in my room where I put my goals down, and my first goal of 2021 was to get on AEW Dark. So I scratched that goal off, and then obviously the next goal from there is to get signed to be a familiar face, and then build my name from there.
Awesome. Any regrets that you have?
That's a good question, man. I would say regrets. The only regret that I have so far would probably be having a little bit too much of an ego early on. You don't know what you don't know. So now looking back, I wish I would have, controlled my ego a little bit. But at the same time, I feel like if you want to be the top guy in this business, you gotta have a little bit of an ego, because you have to have that if you want to be the best. So my regret would be how to find a better way to still have a healthy, strong ego, but not what's the word I'm looking for? But not get on anybody else's bad side or anything like that. That would probably be my only regret.
No heat.
Yeah, exactly. Correct.
Oh, look at Stryker back to join us.
There he is.
Doing a run-in. What happened, bud?
Yeah, stupid internet went down again. Second time in a row.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
All right, Larry, we'll hit him up with the 10 wrestlers question, if you would, sir.
Oh, all right. So next, Spencer, I'm gonna give you 10 wrestlers and give us a one-word answer right off the top of your head. All right.
Yep.
All right. First one, PCO.
PCO. Strange.
The Bastard Pack. Pac. Sorry.
Stud.
Okay. Jay Lethal.
Amazing.
Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Legend.
Ace Austin.
Athletic.
Brian Pillman Jr.
Flying.
All right. Flip Gordon.
Flippy.
Yeah. All right. And then number 9, big time Bill Collier.
Amazing.
All right. And then the very last one, Spencer Slade.
Confident.
That's awesome. That was great answers.
I love that. That was fun.
So, anybody that wants to follow you on social media, or if you want to go ahead and do your little shoot, let them know where they can find you.
Absolutely. If any of you out there would like to follow me and kind of see what my journey's like to get to the big stages, you can follow me on Twitter at Slade Wrestler. You can follow me on Instagram at Slade Wrestling. You can catch me on Facebook at Spencer Slade. Those are the 3 places you guys can find me. I'm always posting content. I'm always keeping everybody up to date. That's the best way to follow me. And also, too, if you ever want to message me, I pride myself in always being available to the fans and being a good person. So you can always message me through all 3 platforms, and I'll do everything I can to get back to you. That's
awesome, Spencer. So how about some upcoming shows? Where can we find you?
Absolutely. So I'm going to say, like I said before, keep your eyes open, because I will be back on AEW very soon. You can catch me on IWC, the Eliminator Show, next Saturday, April 24th at 1 p.m. at the Brownsville Drive-In. You can catch me May 15th down at Rocket City Championship Wrestling in Hazel Green, Alabama, where I will be wrestling a guy named Larry D from Impact. On May 22nd, we have the next IWC show at the Washington Wild Things Ballpark. And then that's all that I know so far. So that's where you guys can catch me.
Awesome. Well, any plans on coming back to Imagine Wrestling?
Absolutely. So I will be returning to Imagine Wrestling, the first show after May. So I know that I'm telling you guys, Imagine Wrestling, man, that's going to be the breakout promotion here in 2021. We had a huge end of 2019 before the pandemic. I mean, we were selling our shows out in Altoona. It's just unfortunate that the pandemic happened. But if you want to see some great wrestling done the right way, Imagine Wrestling is a place to come to. So I think I will be returning to their show in June, because I know Ken wants to run Imagine like a territory where he runs shows every month or every weekend in like a little different town in PA, which I love. That's the best way to get better, is by working smaller towns and more reps. So I will be returning to Imagine Wrestling in June, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you two guys there as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, We appreciate you coming on the show tonight. Hopefully we can get you back and talk more about some your next. Hopefully, if you get back to AEW, we can talk about that.
Absolutely. I'm very confident that this is going to be the biggest summer for me. I'm very confident that I'm going to get signed somewhere by the end of the summer. That's a personal goal that I've made to myself. So maybe the next time I appear on the show, it will be sometime at the end of the summer, and I can be have a lot more to talk to you guys about.
That's awesome, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys both for wanting me on your show and talking wrestling. I love it.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. Thank you again, Spencer.
Anytime. You guys take care.
You too.